Brown.
Jeffries.
Jeffries. Brownlee. Jeffries. Buchanan. McCarthy. Buck. McCarthy. Bouchon. McCarthy. Budzinski. Jeffries. Burchett. McCarthy. McCarthy. Burleson. Bush. Jeffries. Calvert. McCarthy. Kamick. McCarthy. Caraveo. Jeffries. Carbajal. Jeffries. Cardenas. Jeffries. Carey. McCarthy. Carl. McCarthy. Carson.
I can't say who Jeffries.
Jeffries. Carter of Georgia. McCarthy. Carter of Louisiana. Jeffries. Carter of Texas. McCarthy. Cartwright. Jeffries. Kassar. Jeffries. Case. Jeffries. Caston. Jeffries. Castor of Jeffries. Castro of Texas. Jeffries. Chavez de Reamer. McCarthy. Shearfillis McCormick. Jeffries. Chu. Jeffries. Cicilline. Jeffries. Ciscomani. McCarthy. Clark of Massachusetts. Jeffries. Clark of New York. Jeffries. Cleaver. Jeffries. Klein. McCarthy. Cloud. Donalds. Clyburn.
So
Jeffries.
at this point, Congressman Byron Donalds, Republican of Florida, has received 5 votes. We do not know how many members of the House are actually on the floor voting right now, which makes it more complicated to hear that Congressman Kevin McCarthy, the Republican leader, has already lost because it has to do with the majority of those present. But assuming that it's 434 members, as it was for all 3 votes yesterday, then McCarthy is on point to lose his 4th vote to attempt to be Speaker of the House. Deanna Bash.
Jeffries.
It sure looks that way. The question now is by how much? Whether or not this ploy by Chip Roy to nominate Donalds will actually raise the number from 20 to even higher, and frankly, whether that will matter. Because look, the McCarthy people wanted to delay this vote. It was not possible because you need the votes of 218 to do that. So they're just kind of going through the motions right now. This is one of those times which happens so often in Congress, but not with this kind of white hot spotlight on it, where what you're seeing on the floor is important, but what's really more important is what may or may not be going on behind the scenes.
Casey Hunt, would it not have been a more credible play by the rebels,
Jeffries.
Congressman Chip Roy, Republican
Cuellar.
of Texas, to put forward the
Jeffries.
name of somebody who actually
Curtis.
could supplant
McCarthy.
Kevin McCarthy and be the next Republican Speaker? I'm
Davis
thinking
of
somebody
Kansas.
like, for instance, his number 2, Steve Scalise, or his number 3, Elise Stefanik, at least as of right now. Like, what? Why put forward
Davidson.
Congressman Donald, impressive though he may be, is only, I believe, in his second.
Davis
He's
of
fairly
Illinois.
inexperienced, fairly unknown. He's not Speaker of the House,
Davis of
no
North
matter what
Carolina.
happens in this. I mean, maybe in the future
Jeffries.
someday, but like in 2023, he's
Dean
not.
of- yeah.
Right.
Would that have not been a potentially more
Jeffries.
credible play to say, hey, look, we are serious
Yes.
about
Jeffries.
governance and we just don't want Kevin McCarthy. We're not committed to him?
I mean, I think that's.
McCarthy.
I think you're right, Jake. That would have
DeLauro.
certainly, I think, raised more eyebrows and
Jeffries.
questions about what could happen
Delbene.
here. I mean, I think pure test of whether they really have
DeLuzio.
managed to generate opposition to McCarthy inside the
Desaugier.
conference. If this number rises above
Jeffries.
the 20 that we saw
Desarray.
yesterday, when Byron
McCarthy.
Donalds actually, flipped his vote.
Diaz
I think
Belito.
will be probably more telling when it's a candidate like this who is,
Diaz
as you say,
Balart.
somebody they've sort of thrown out there. It's also potentially, a risk for them to put Scalise's name forward at this stage. I mean,
Dingle.
I think people do view Scalise as a very serious possibility here as a consensus candidate, but I think those who really don't want
Donalds.
McCarthy recognize Donald's votes for himself.
Donalds has voted for himself. Interesting.
Six.
Okay.
Very interesting. So, I think the Scalise play needs to be made at the right moment if they actually do
Duarte.
feel like they want to take out McCarthy.
But I do kind of giving away the game here. I mean,
Duncan.
at this point, they're willing to put name
McCarthy.
forward. None of those people are going to
Dunn
get
of
218.
Florida.
I think that kind of reveals this for what it is, which is, as Jamie was saying, it's a personality issue. It's the fact that they don't
Elvie.
like Kevin McCarthy personally.
McCarthy.
As far as I'm aware, Congressman Donalds has something differently about how he would run the representatives. He voted for McCarthy twice before he voted
McCarthy.
against. And in fact, I think
Escobar.
that's, for some of these, as we've been calling them,
Jeffries.
rebels, it is, I think, a legitimate question whether they have gotten assurances from anyone
Jeffries.
about how the House would run in a way that is different, that is less swampy, that is more appealing to them.
Estes.
So far, that has not been said, and I think that they're reading what
Evans.
underlies this, which is just
Jeffries.
personally, McCarthy is unpitiable to
Val.
them, humiliate him. They want
McCarthy.
his head on a platter. And how long are they going to continue this in order to get that end? I think
Byron
that's where
Donalds-
we are.
Byron Donalds just had a chance to stop.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Byron just had a chance to say enough. Vote for Kevin McCarthy and say it's time to get serious. But remember, Mike Gallagher, again, Kevin McCarthy has rolled out for every one of these votes a prominent conservative that all of these rebels like and
Dean
respect to
Stagg.
nominate him, hoping it would make a difference. It has changed nothing. What did Congressman Gallagher say? It's time to get to work. They're
Fishbaum.
not interested in work. They're not the people voting against Kevin McCarthy here are not interested in the work government. They are interested in personal ambition and getting Kevin McCarthy's scalp.
Fitzpatrick.
Not just to get it, but to send a message to
McCarthy.
anybody else who gets that gavel that at any moment we might come for you.
But can we also say,
Go ahead.
I talked to Byron McDonald this morning,
McCarthy.
Donalds this morning, we were talking about this and what he was going to do with McCarthy after he did vote for him twice and then voted for Jim Jordan. He was open this morning to voting for McCarthy again. He was saying essentially that if McCarthy was viable and he could actually get the path to the
Foster.
speakership, that he would switch his vote for him. And now he's just voted
That was before he was an option.
for himself. Yeah, I guess I should have asked if he was going to vote for himself today. He did say McCarthy did not reach out to him yesterday after he switched his
Lois
vote.
Frankel.
And Lauren Boebert just said that McCarthy did not reach out to her also. So it does,
C. Scott Franklin.
that puts a lens on what the negotiations looked like last night after they adjourned. And we should note
Cross.
McCarthy just said they don't want to adjourn anymore. They want to keep voting.
Jeffries.
Some of the Republicans on McCarthy's
Fry.
side, so they did think it was a mistake to adjourn as
McCarthy.
quickly as they did yesterday.
All right. Well, Kevin McCarthy looks well on his way to his fourth
McCarthy.
defeat